Hi and welcome back to Step by Step. This video is about these things, battery powered vacuums. Now, if you'd have asked me a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, are these of any good for a biOrb, I think the answer would have been no, that's not what they're designed for. There was a person made a comment on this site and said that they had been using one of these to help clean under ceramic media. So that got me thinking, and the person also said they do it by taking off part of the pump. So let's have a look. That is what this video is about. Do these work? And actually I have two brands because they're all very similar. So I have two products here. So one's a Marina multivac, and the other one is this one here, which is by Tropical Reef, called a hydrovac. So why would these be of any use? And I have seen people say that they use these to do their water changes, but not really going on about actually using it as a cleaning tool. Why do we need? Why would we need something that works? I suppose is the question. Well, over time, I said this in other videos, but over time, what happens is all the waste from your fish, from your food that they don't eat, all falls largely to the bottom of the aquarium, and a lot of it falls through the ceramic media and then gets trapped underneath the ceramic media. The idea of the filter in a biOrb is that it's supposed to draw that material underneath towards the filter. But to be honest, it's not. It doesn't work as well as that really suggests. And you do over time, you get a big build-up. And I'd say after 3 months, what I have to do, or what I do, is I actually take all the ceramic media out of my aquarium and I clean it all out using a normal tool, which you should all know about. You might have seen that in my first video. So I use this really to clean up all the muck. That's the only way to describe it, and to get rid of it. And I probably do it. I've been doing that probably every 3 months, and it does have a marked effect on your nitrate levels in your aquarium, and also your phosphorus as well. So that's what I've been doing. But then I got this comment, and then I looked into it and thought, well, actually, I could see how that might work, because it took away what I was saying, that these parts on here, the very bottom, are meant for gravel. So let's just get these two out, and I'll show you both products. As I said, they are very, very similar. Okay, so this is the multivac. Now the multivac, as it says in its name, comes with a multiple of things. So if we take this out, so this is the Marina multivac. That's what the vacuum itself looks like. It comes with a filter which goes on here, which looks very much like a baby's sock. But anyway, it comes with a nozzle, which is very interesting. It comes with what I would call a gravel or sand cleaner, which has a guard on the inside. You can see the guard. That's to stop things like gravel, but also fish potentially from going up there and into the vacuum. It comes with a glass cleaner, scraper. Now, scraper, anything that says scraper and biOrb do not go. Okay, so we cannot use one of those. That's for cleaning algae off your glass, if you have glass. We don't have glass. Okay, so it comes with some instructions, but to be honest, these are quite straightforward things. It also comes with a bit of pipe, which is used to extract water, not really for the cleaning side of things. Both of these vacuums need batteries, which I think is the best idea. You know, I wouldn't get anything really cumbersome. So 2 size C batteries, and that they last about 5 hours, which is quite good actually. And if you get rechargeables, that's good as well. So that's that product. So the Hydrovac comes with less accessories. So that's it there. That's it there. So the Hydrovac in comparison, doesn't have the accessories that sort of come with this one. Let's get rid of these. So these things look very similar, really. I know them apart because one's slightly blue, the other one's black. So there's a blue one, which is the Hydrovac. That one is the Multivac. Right, I'll try and remember that through this video. Okay, and these just fit onto here, like this, and that's how they operate. And this, so they they slide up and down here. Okay, and this goes on here, like that. So when you vacuum, the material comes up and it goes into this collection sort of filter bag here. So that's that. If you wanted to extract water, you take that off, and basically you put a hose on, and then you can extract water into a bucket. So you can do your water changes with them as well. Okay, so I'm going to put these two together so you can see them together. Right, so that's what they look like. As I said, these products are very, very similar, and they extend roughly to the same size. So I do have some specification. By the way, there are lots of this type of product available in the market. Probably the Fluval ProVac is probably, if you want one that's described as professional, but it's quite a big cumbersome thing. And I would say for a biOrb, you need something that's quite delicate, really, to fit into the small area and to move that around within that, that small area that you have at the top, to move that around and clean. I think the bigger ones are just too big for this small, for a small aquarium. And the Fluval ProVac's it's the best part of £60 for one of those. So I'm sure it's really, really good, but I don't think it's any good for a biOrb. Okay, so right, let's just talk. So I'm going to sort them round because that's what my notes are. So the Marina vac, which is this one, costs around about sort of £15, £14.99. So again, these aren't expensive sort of products. And the Hydrovac is actually cheaper at £11.99. But you do get more potentially with this, and you also get a hose, which you don't get with this. So if you want to use it for extracting water, you will need to get the right size sort of hose, which I don't think would be difficult to get, really. I'd even suggest maybe even a garden hose would actually fit, looking at the size of it. So, okay, can you get spares for them in terms of filter bags? The answer is yes. These ones here are £2.65 for 4, including post. These are more expensive at £3.75 for 2. Okay, so as I said, they both take 2 size C batteries. Both have hours of use of about 5 hours. Oops. So when you put that part on, that's the depth it will go to. So between 30 to 50 centimetres. And this one allows, actually, this can go straight into here, so it goes down to 20 centimetres right up to 60. So this one here has the largest sort of depth range. Okay. An important consideration if you're using them for cleaning is how much suction or how much flow goes through them. Hydrovac are very useful because they actually say what their flow rate is on the box. So it says 520 litres per hour. So it will extract at 520 litres per hour. This one doesn't say it on the box. So there's a bit of an unknown. Right, now to go over the flow rate, I've tested both and I've tested them 3 times and I've timed them. How did I do that? Well, I took a 10 litre bottle and another one, and then I extracted 5 litres from this into here, and I timed how long that took, and I did that 3 times for each one. Okay, I might actually just show you how that works, just in case you're thinking of using it for water changes. The multivac took 46 seconds on average to remove 5 litres. The hydrovac took 38 seconds on an average of 3 times. And that is a difference of 8 seconds, which doesn't sound a lot, but in terms of suction, 8 seconds, if you count it, is quite a lot. So what that says is this one, the hydrovac, has a more powerful suction than the multivac. And I think that, as a starter, I think is quite an important consideration. Comparing the two, the hydrovac has a locking ring here, so it locks, so it slides, then it locks, so you can really lock it in position. The multivac has a very slidey thing, and when this gets wet, it will become even more sliding. So when you're cleaning around, it alters, and the problem is you don't want to go too high up here in terms of your water level, because otherwise you'll go into the battery and you'll damage the motor. So that is a bit of a downside, I think. If you wanted to, and you've got one aquarium and you know what your depth is, I would glue it to stop it from moving. So it's fixable. You just glue it. Okay. Now, let's talk about the bit I don't like and the thing, and I know because I've actually tested this. Okay, so these things generally do not work. It's very similar to when you extract water using this, and you put this down at the bottom of the gravel, and you'll find very little gets sucked up through that. It's the same with this. It's not really what they're designed for. What these are designed for is to push into sand or fine gravel, and all the gravel gets sort of sucked up in here and spins round a bit like in a washing machine, and you'll see the dirt goes up through and out, and then when you lift it, the gravel falls back out. So that is not going to happen with ceramic media. That is not going to happen. So these, in my view, are of no interest to us. Okay, and I have tested, by the way. I know it's not just my view. I've actually tested it. It really is not worth it. So then we come down to the basics of it. So if you take that off, you're left with a nice end that can actually be pushed through and moved around through the ceramic media at the bottom. Now this one, what I like on this one is it comes with a nozzle like that. So that would actually improve the ability to get through and down to the bottom. So that's quite a good product, that in part there. Okay, now what I like about this one, apart from it being more powerful, it's got a guard at the end. I don't know if you can see that, the guard. There's a guard on here, and that's going to stop small pieces of gravel and potentially fish or things like that being sucked up through there. And if you've got guppies or endlers like I have, endlers are so curious. They are the type of fish that will just mess around here and get sucked up. You have to keep an eye on them for that. This one doesn't have a guard. There's no guard on here, and there is no guard on here. The guard on here is actually inside, is there. So it does have a guard, but it's in this component. So if you did suck up a shrimp, or or a fish, hopefully that guard's going to give you some protection. Otherwise, it's going to end up in here, which isn't the best thing to do. Okay, let's just have a look at the other thing I wanted to mention was they both have a different type of filter bag. And as I said, this one here has a filter bag that reminds me of a child's sock, and which I'm sure would last a long time, but the spaces in it are not going to trap really fine particles of dirt. Okay, this one here is more like a surgical mask, which is extremely fine. That's going to trap all sorts of stuff, and that's going to be far better. So what I'm going to do is, because I know that is not so good, I'm not going to use that one, and I've actually got some spare ones of these. So I'm going to test them both with the same filter bag on them. So I'll put that on. Okay, let me show you how they work for extracting water. If you wanted to use it for doing water changes. I mean, there's a big difference between a big cumbersome thing like this and where you put it compared to something quite small like that. These never break, though. They potentially could break and your batteries will run out. So I'll show you how you can use it for extraction of water. Okay, so to use them, you simply connect a hose. Oops, he says, disconnecting the hose. You connect a hose onto here. You put this into your aquarium. There we go. Just makes a bit of a noise. So there you are. You can see it extracting there. Anyway, you get the idea. So you can use it for that purpose as well. For that. But that's not what this video is about, really. In particular, it's about how these things perform at cleaning out under your ceramic media. Because if you can do that, and I tell you what, if you can reduce it by 25%, I would go with 25% at the price of these. I really would. I would use one of these weekly, just to give it a clean. And if you could reduce the material under the ceramic media by 25%, I would definitely go with that. I'd definitely go with that. So as I said, the extraction, the water change component of it is fine. Okay, it does the job. I'm not saying it's as fast as my other method, but for a lot of people, that extra few seconds, what's the difference? How am I going to test them? Okay, right. I'm going to try and do it as fairly as I can. So it's not a scientific experiment, but I'm going to try and make it equal as much as I can. So I'm going to use this aquarium. I'm going to remove all the decorations and all that sort of stuff, and I'm just going to get it down to just being the filter, the gravel, and the fish. And I'm going to use one vacuum to do one half of the tank, and then I'm going to do the other half of the tank with the other one. And I'm going to put a timer on how long to do that for. And then I'm going to try my best to do it equally, and then I want to see what material comes out based on that, and we'll have a look at that. So I've got the lovely job now of taking all my stuff out of my aquarium. Oh dear, I love doing this. How long shall I do it for? That's the question, I suppose. I'm just gonna do it for each one for 60 seconds. I'm just going to do 60 seconds, because what I'm trying to do is compare one against the other initially, but also test whether they do the job that we need them to do. So I'm going to give them 60 seconds each. Let's do it. Ready to go. Now you need to adjust these for the right height of the aquarium, and there's a level up here where you're not supposed to operate above, but largely you just need to have this bag just sort of under the surface like that, and the same with this one under the surface. Okay, and I'm going to do equally just on this half with this one. So I'm just waiting for my watch to get round to the right place. There you go. So it's starting to work now. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort of manipulate this around, and you can already start to see material coming through, and it is actually sucking up material from the edge, which you will see the material at the edge. It's definitely clearing up that, which is good. So just trying to get down to the bottom and suck up the material down there. I'm going to do 2 minutes actually. Maybe a minute isn't long enough. You'll see the water's getting cloudy as well. So that's that one's job done. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same with this one on the other side. Same thing. There we go. I'm going to have to stop there because this one is picking up stones, so I'm going to put a nozzle on. Yeah, the problem with this one is it picks up stones all the time, even with the nozzle on. See, stone collection. It's still drawing, even with a stone on, but that's that one done. Right then, there you go. That's as good as I could get to being equal. Unfortunately, I think this one let me down because it doesn't matter what I did, it would pick up the ceramic media with just a bare tube or with the nozzle on. The ceramic media was going in there. You could maybe get around it by getting rid of the small parts of ceramic media in your aquarium. Just pick some of that out, but anyway, and because of that, I had to slightly adjust the time, but I think I've given it roughly equal thereabouts in terms. So what am I going to do? Okay, I've got 2 bowls with half a pint of water in each. So I'm going to empty the contents of these into each bowl and see which one collected the most. This is the hydro vac. There. See all the dirt. I'm going to turn the bag inside out to get rid of it all. So I adjusted my time to 2 minutes. 1 minute was a bit too short. And actually, I think if I was going to do it, I'd probably be looking at spending longer, I think. But if you're doing it more frequently, if you did this sort of exercise on a weekly basis, or every month or something, you're going to start to have an impact on the amount of material that is underneath the ceramic media. So I'm just going to do that, and then I'm going to take this one off here. So this is the multi-vac. Take its bag off. So they've both got the same spec bag. Initially, without comparison, they definitely get rid of crap. Sorry for my terminology, but they definitely are sucking up the dirt under the ceramic media. So I'm going to move the camera so you can see how those two things look compared to each other. Okay, so there you go. So this one's the hydrovac, and this one is the multivac. I've cleaned out the bags roughly, so they're about the same. I think I've got most of it out, but I think, well, there's no thinking. It's a bit obvious though, that this hydrovac has taken out more than the multivac. So I know, as I said, it's not a completely scientific experiment, I'm sure, but it's a reasonable. I think it's a reasonable comparison between the two. I'm quite happy that I've done what I think a sort of fair comparison. But the hydrovac has certainly extracted more dirt than the multivac, and they both have the same filter bags on. So that equals those two things. So there you go. Now all this stuff, as I said, that's some cleaning for a couple of minutes, and this really all adds up to your, or my, nitrate in the aquarium, because it's just waste from the fish and from the food. So hopefully you can see the difference between those two. It's quite a marked difference. Why would I think that happens? I think it's just purely because we'd already said that the hydrovac has a faster draw rate. In other words, the suction on it is higher. So I think it has a bit more ability to suck this material out from under the ceramic media compared to the multivac. So there you go. So that's reasonably conclusive. There is a stark difference between that and that, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, so the hydrovac wins the day, I think. They are very, very similar. The one thing I do like about this is this here, is that although it does pick up material, and it just happens to fit onto here as well, but it's still always going to pick up stones, I think. So I've had a little think about that. What I would suggest you do is you get some hose, and so a piece of hose and a stiff clip, and put this onto here like that, so it's nice and tight, and then put that into some boiling water in a cup. Take it out, run it under the tap, a cold tap, and you create a nozzle like that, which you could then fit onto your thing. You can do the same with, I think plastic materials or plastic type hose rather than rubber, and it's something that's got what's called a memory. So in other words, it remembers that it's been shaped. So you know, with a piece of hose or something, you can do. So you could create a nice little finer suction nozzle for to get underneath your ceramic media, and it might help actually to draw in more as well. So that's a good idea. It doesn't work with biOrbs because it collects the stones. If it had a guard on there, then it would. I think it would do that. So I wouldn't suggest you get a multivac to get one of these. I've actually ordered something, but unfortunately I was hoping to get it in the post, but I haven't. But I think I found something, a nozzle that will actually fit onto these. So if and when that comes, I shall provide a link to that. But if you want to try using a nozzle, if you like, on one of these, because it hasn't got one, you could easily make your own. It's not overly difficult to do that, and give that a try as well. That might be better. Shall I test it? Shall I test it to see if it's better than that one? I will test it. Okay, so this is my very quick. Yeah, I haven't really. Yeah, you get the idea. But I'm gonna see if having something like this works. No, it is collecting up material. Okay, and it does collect the stones, but they fall off easier. Yeah, so I think that sort of thing could potentially work. There you go. So in conclusion, you could do an adaptation. I think it might improve, to make it better. Okay, in conclusion, would I have added this to my essentials video of what to get for a biOrb? I think I would, actually. If I was doing that video again, I think one of these would be on that. And for some people also, it might be a much better way for them to do water changes compared to the big sort of cumbersome thing that almost takes up a cupboard by itself. Because you can just put the bucket next to your aquarium and it's under power, so it just will take that out. The good thing about doing that is instead of using your filter bag, you could do a water change and clean your ceramic media at the same time. So, for example, if you're doing a 10 litre water change, you could extract 10 litres while at the same time cleaning the gravel, which is what I think I would definitely do. I think really, you know, if you're going to do a water change, does that mean goodbye to the other one? Possibly, yes. But that's a fail-safe. It'll never. It's impossible to break those, really. I would be very, very tempted. I think I would add this to my list. So there you are. It's up to you which you get. I've only tested 2 products, so it's the Hydrovac that I had the better result as far as my test was concerned, and I think it's a really good part of your, or could be quite a good part of your maintenance regime, just to keep that material from underneath the ceramic media reduced. And as I said, if it only reduces it by 25%, I would, for the money, I would definitely go for the 25%. It will take 25% of the nitrate out of my water, which is a problem for me, nitrate, because of my tap water. So there you go. I will actually do. I'm going to mess around now. Now I've done all this, I'm going to play around with this and try and figure out how to get the best out of it now. So I will do another video once I've messed around and once I've worked it out myself. And I'll include the nozzle that I've ordered as well, and do another test on that. But in the simple experiment, Hydrovac, which is cheaper of the two, and also the little bags are better, and they are also cheaper as well. So there you go. If you want to see more videos, please do subscribe. big thank you for watching and take care.